You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey there, Days fans. It is Belinda from Soap Dirt, and in the wake of the very sad news that Bill Hayes passed away on Friday, January 12th at the age of 98, I do have a little bit of good news, and that is that we have some more Doug Williams scenes yet to come on Days of Our Lives. We're going to let you know when to expect to see Bill Hayes back as Doug on the Peacock soap. And I want to share some amazing tributes from his co-stars and another huge actor about Bill Hayes, people that admired him and loved him. But first, before we dig in, please click subscribe. All right. So we're going to start with the tributes because some of these just made me tear up. They were so sweet. And then I'll tell you about the air dates and new episodes. So Stephen Nichols, who plays Steve Johnson, aka Patch, said this: Bill Hayes, you were a beautiful human being. Little did I know that our association would begin when I was 5 years old, watching my favorite TV show and singing along with you, Davy Crockett, King of the Wild Frontier, and that we would cross paths many years later on Days of Our Lives. You were and will remain an inspiration. Your work ethic, your childlike spirit, your love for Susan and your family, and especially your kindness touched me and so many others. Thanks, Bill, for your beautiful example. Rest easy, dear sir. Love and condolences to dear Susan and your entire family. And then Alison Sweeney, who plays Sami Brady, said, since I found out about the passing of the incredibly talented Bill Hayes, so many memories have been coming back to me. How lucky and blessed I feel to have known such a generous and kind man. Every day, he and Susan brought such joy to the set and to their work. It was always such an inspiration to see them. And then she shared a behind the scenes photo. It's kind of blurry. I'm not going to show it to you because it's not real crisp, but it was her and them. And she said the happiness captured in Bill's expression in this photo is how he was every day I saw him, sending prayers and love to Susan. Melissa Reeves, who plays Jennifer Horton, said, this is such a hard post to write. I was going to post a picture of just Bill, but you see, I can't ever see Bill without Susan. They have such a beautiful love for each other. So not only do we mourn the loss of our precious Bill, I also pray for Susan's heart in this time. It was always beautiful to watch their love, care, and respect for each other. And I have no doubt Susan will continue to carry on their wonderful legacy in everything she does. I will miss my dancing lessons with you, Bill, between scenes, and your lovely singing voice that would stop all of our hearts. You are simply one of the best. That's so sweet. All right. Christian Alfonso made a post on Instagram about Bill Hayes, and a lot of the co-stars made comments on it that were really sweet. So I'm going to tell you what Christian said and then some of the other comments. Christian Alfonso said, you will forever be in my heart, Billy. Thank you for welcoming me, the girl from Boston, with warm, open arms on my first day and all of the days that followed, for the love and support you always gave me. How completely blessed I was to work with you, to know you, to learn from you. You were a true icon. My heart is broken. Love you. And Alison Sweeney commented on Christian's message and said, Bill was such a beautiful human. He brought joy, grace, and talent to everything he touched. I was blessed to know him. Wally Kurth, who of course plays Justin Kiriakis, commented, he was such a gentleman, kind and generous with everyone he met. His smile always made me smile. So lucky to have known him. Lisa Rinna, who of course played Billy Reed, commented, oh, Bill, rest in peace, sweet prince. And Brandon Beamer, who played Sean Brady, commented, he was one of a kind. Eric Brady, actor Greg Vaughn, said this: Mr. Bill Hayes, a true gentleman, master of talent, a smile that welcomed you at every moment, and always had a song to sing or a story to tell, mostly about his family and the love of his life, Mrs. Susan. Truly a gift to have shared the stage with you for 10 years. Love and peace be with you always. And Eli Grant, portrayer Layman Archie, said this: he was the brightest light at days. Heaven shines even brighter with his arrival. Rest in peace, Bill Hayes. Now, This last tribute is someone who was only on Days of Our Lives many, many years ago for just a few episodes. It's from Bryan Cranston. You probably know his name. He was the star of Breaking Bad and a ton of other hit shows and movies. So Bryan's message is a little longer, but I want to read it all for you because it really, to me, kind of gives you the essence of who I think Bill Hayes was for a lot of people. He wrote, "One of my first professional acting jobs was on Days of Our Lives. It was 1980 and I won a 3-day gig on the show. My first day was a disaster. I failed to extend the stem on my alarm clock and missed my call time. For you babies out there listening, you used to have to pull a little thing on the top of your clock." So Bryan says, "Panicked, I raced to NBC and arrived over 2 hours late. I was embarrassed and failed in my first attempt at making a positive impression. I missed the rehearsal of my 2 scenes and the irritated stage manager arranged for an assistant to give me a quick review of the blocking. Then I was on my own. Trying not to fall into a shame spiral, I was alone in my tiny dressing room when there was a knock on the door. I opened it to see Bill Hayes, the star of the show. For a moment, I thought he was coming to fire me personally. Instead, he said some comforting words, commiserating with my situation, and asked if I wanted to know the backstory to the character and the scene. I was shocked. He spent 20 minutes helping a stranger to feel a little less humiliated. He really cheered me up. I will never forget his kindness and patience. From that moment, I think of Bill whenever I see an actor in need. Bill Hayes was a prince and a damn fine actor. Rest now, Bill, and thank you." All right, that one, all of them were sweet, but that one, that's the one, that's why I saved it for last, because it literally made me cry. This is like the 3rd time I've read it. Every single time it has moved me to tears. Those were all lovely tributes. I'm certain there's more to come. We still haven't heard from his widow, Susan Seaforth Hayes. I cannot imagine what she's going through or that she is even able to make a statement. So let's move on real quick. Let's talk about when Bill Hayes wrapped filming at Days of Our Lives and when we're going to see more episodes of him as Doug Williams. You probably remember, because it was recently, we last saw Doug and Julie. It was in a Christmas episode, December 2023, a few days before Christmas. And you know, Days of Our Lives shoots about 6 months ahead. So Bill Hayes was reportedly filming his last scenes, not knowing it was his last scenes, in November of 2023, which means those should air up until around May 2024. And I'm certain we'll be getting a tribute end card on an upcoming episode. And at some point, I'm certain they'll do a farewell episode and probably write the death of Doug onto the show. But, you know, that wouldn't air until much later in the year. I'm also guessing that they're going to give Susan Hayes plenty of time to grieve before they even consider writing a death storyline for her husband, both on and off screen. I mean, this is so painful, guys. I know y'all are feeling it. He was an icon, but at the same time, he had, you know, an amazing and very long and productive life. I mean, we should all have such wonderful lives before they're done, right? Rest in peace, Bill Hayes, and we're sending all our kind thoughts and condolences to his widow, Susan Seaforth Hayes, his children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and all of his loved ones. Thank you for listening. This has been Belinda from Soap Dirt.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.